Bakit di natin pag-isipan ang nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran? Hindi nga masamang pag-unlad kung hindi nakakasira ng kalikasan.
Food security is a very serious global concern. The very rapid population growth is expected to bring about a very high demand for food by 2050. However, a depleting area of arable land, worsened by a growing scarcity of water, will render agriculture unable to keep the pace with the needed volume of supply of food. A serious shortfall in food looms in the future unless new and non-soil-based food production technologies are developed and implemented to fill in this shortfall. Among the new and emerging food production technologies, hydroponics seem to offer a very good potential to effectively respond to this challenge. It is a technology that do not use soil, so the issue of depleting arable lands is squarely met. Also, this technology is based on plant roots coming in direct contact with nutrients dissolved in water. But while it is water-based, it is, however, very efficient in water use. So hydroponics also squarely addresses the second issue of scarcity of water. In fact, all the major types of hydroponics are based on this closed water loop system. The Food and Agriculture Office of the UN recognizes these as among the major advantages of hydroponics. First, it is very water efficient. It uses only 20% of the water normally used by soil-based plants. In addition, its spent nutrient solutions is recyclable for watering other soil-based plants. Secondly, because it is soil-less, then there are no problems with weeds and pests. Consequently, too, there is no need for pesticides. So hydroponics produces food without toxic pesticide residues, hence protecting the health of mankind. A fourth advantage of hydroponics is its very effective control over nutrients and plant nutrition. It therefore makes plants not only more productive but also more nutritious. This results to the fifth advantage of producing more crop yields, around double, for very much less time, roughly half the time only. Additionally, especially when cultivated in protected environment, year-round production of crops is enabled. Aside from these advantages, hydroponics is also among the very few agricultural systems that also meet FAO's Climate Smart Agriculture, or CSA, which is an approach that addresses in an integrated manner the interlinked challenges of food security and the accelerating challenges of global warming and climate change. It aims to simultaneously achieve three outcomes. 1. Increased productivity. Produce more and better food to improve nutrition security and boost incomes, especially of the 75% of the world poor who live in rural areas and who rely mainly on agriculture for their livelihoods. 2. Enhanced resilience. Reduce vulnerability to droughts, pests, diseases, and other climate-related risks and shocks, and improve capacity to adapt and grow in the face of longer-term stresses like shortened seasons and erratic weather patterns. 3. Reduced emissions. Pursue lower emissions for each calorie or kilo of food produced. Avoid deforestation from agriculture, and identify ways to absorb carbon out of the atmosphere. Lower and more efficient resource consumption and the simplicity of this technology allows this alternative farming technique to be adopted by a wide variety of stakeholders. It is very simple and easy to learn. Not to mention also that it is very affordable to implement. And it can be done anywhere. Indoors, in the garden, at parks, atop buildings, malls, etc. Anywhere that sunlight can reach, or even where it cannot reach. Notwithstanding its simplicity, hydroponics as a system and science is also full of challenges. It stretches the creativity of minds of people to explore more innovative and environmentally sound practices to produce more food, faster, more economical, and with higher nutritional value. Imagine living in a situation like this. The best reason for going hydroponics is, however, our Christian duty of stewardship of our common home, the earth, and all creations. Beyond doubt, food production that is predominantly soil-based and livestock directly accounts for just 30% of total greenhouse gases emissions. But factoring in other aspects of the food cycle, such as distribution, warehousing and cold storage, retailing, cooking, food waste disposal, and the like, food actually accounts for more than 50% of GHGs. We are actually destroying our earth in keeping ourselves alive. So avoid meat, eat nutritious vegetables, and go GHG-free hydroponics. The best way to start a hydroponics system is to adopt a rotating 4-week cycle with lettuce. By sowing seeds at a particular day of a week, we can have a continuous production of lettuce after just 4 weeks. Sow seeds every Friday and set the germinated lettuce every Sunday, and after 4 weeks, we can start harvesting lettuce every day. How do we start? Let us use in this example hydroponics supplies and equipment being popularized, at cost, for all church-related activities by the Ministry of Ecology and Environment. They have a variety of hydroponics main units, from simple plastic pails to aluminum recirculating units, to their original 28-hole hydro box, which we will use in this example. They also have their internally developed, very durable, and innovative resin-made hydro cups using cubed rock wool as medium. And of course, their set of concentrate hydroponics nutrients and pH adjusters. We need the following equipment and supplies to sow the seeds.
Aside from rock wool, other materials that are needed for sowing in hydroponics include cutting mat, heavy-duty cutter, sharpening stone, steel ruler of at least 60 centimeters long, shallow plastic container for wetting and soaking rock wool cubes, plastic pitcher or waterer, kitchen leftovers plastic container with cover, used for germination, glass rod for making indentions on the rock wool for placement of seeds, small condiments dish to hold seeds being sown, bamboo barbecue stick for sowing seeds, and small plastic bottle dropper to gently wet the sown seeds. A cardboard pattern is also needed to guide the cutting of rock wool into cubes.
Let us start by preparing the rock wool cubes. Position the rock wool board securely on top of the cutting mat. Using the cardboard pattern as guide, place the ruler on the rock wool to cut a rock wool length of a desired width. Before cutting, ensure that the blade is sharpened. Run the cutter blade along the edge of the ruler with a sawing or lifting motion. After this, run the blade again at least twice, but this time, with the tip of the blade set against the cutting mat, without the sawing or lifting motion. This will ensure that all the strands of the rock wool are cut. Next, we cut the rock wool lengths into pieces of a desired height. Make use again of the cardboard pattern to guide in cutting the rock wool lengths. One rock wool length normally makes 11 pieces, and to fill a sow and grow 28-hole hydro box, you will need 14 pieces. This means that you will need 1 1/3 lengths of rock wool cubes. The next step is to cut the rock wool lengths into 2. Take one piece at a time and gently slide the blade cutter in the middle of the piece. Do this for all the 14 rock wool lengths to make a total of 28 cubes, and group them into 4 groups of 7 cubes each. The next step is to wet and soak the rock wool cubes in unchlorinated water. Get hold of a shallow rectangular plastic container. Position the container at an incline by placing something under one end of the container. Fill the plastic container with unchlorinated water. Prepare a kitchen utility plastic container for filling with the rockwool cubes. The container can accommodate 4 rows of 7 cubes per row. Soak the rockwool cubes by submerging each piece and very gently pressing on the sides of the cubes. Ensure that all the pieces are all fully soaked with water. Then gently and carefully arrange the cubes into rows inside the kitchen utility container. In arranging the cubes, determine the more flat end of each cube and position that side on top. Do this for all the 28 rockwool cubes. Once all the cubes are neatly and properly arranged in the kitchen utility container, make light indentions in the middle of the top of each rockwool cube with the use of a glass rod or other similar object. The next step is the sowing of seeds into the rockwool cubes. For lettuce, it is best to sow 4 seeds per rockwool cube. Even if all the 4 seeds germinate and grow, the system will be able to accommodate all of them. Carefully transfer into a small condiment sauce dish an amount of seeds that should not exceed your total requirement. Never return seeds once taken out of the packet already. To transfer the seeds to each rockwool cube, use a bamboo barbecue stick. Wet with water the tip of the stick so that seeds will stick to it. Gently poke the seeds and count while transferring to the indentions in the rockwool cubes. Learn how to slide the seeds out of the stick tips. You might have to slide the tip gently against the cube, and slowly, and with rolling motion, slide the tip away. Although the seeds will somehow get wet as a result of the suction properties of rockwool, nonetheless, it is best that we also wet the seeds with the use of a small plastic dropper. Gently position the tip of the plastic dropper and squeeze a few drops of water on each hole, ensuring that all the 4 seeds are wet. After wetting all the seeds, add some more water so that the water level reaches approximately 60 to 80% of the height of the rockwool cube. Cover the container and store in a cool and shaded place for at least 48 hours or 2 days. Normally, after 2 days, all the lettuce seeds would have germinated already and ready to be transferred to the sow and grow cups. But before doing this, ensure that the sow and grow hydro box is prepared. Ensure that the box is properly situated and leveled. Add in an amount of unchlorinated water so that the water level is barely within the spilling level of the outlet tube. At this point, the water level should normally be around 1/2 to 3/4 inch from the top rim of the hydro box, and normally around a total of 38 liters of water. The next step is to add in the nutrients to the water in the hydro box. Get hold of the nutrient concentrates A and B. Read carefully all the instructions in the label of bottle B. The desired EC level for lettuce is indicated in the label as minimum level 0.8 or 800 and maximum 1.5 or 1500. For newly set plants, the minimum level should at least be attained. However, there is no harm in having already a higher EC level. Plants will consume only the nutrients they need and can never be overfed. The label also indicates that to attain the EC levels, 3.28 milliliters and 6.15 milliliters should be added for every liter of water to attain the minimum and maximum EC levels respectively. So let us use 4 milliliters of A and B, measure the appropriate amount of A and B. 4 milliliters multiplied by 38 liters equals 152 milliliters, or rounded to 150 milliliters. So measure 150 milliliters each of A and B. Pour the nutrients concentrates into the hydro box one at a time. Never mix the 2 concentrates together. And only after the other had been very thoroughly mixed. After mixing well, check the EC level by getting a sample solution. and dipping the EC meter in it. The EC reading should read more than 0.8 or 800. In our case, it read 1015. Put on the cover of the hydro box, and it is now ready for the hydro cups with sown seeds. Get the container of germinated seeds and 28 pieces of sow and grow hydro cups. Study the position of each cube and select the one easiest to get. Gently and very carefully get one cube. It is normally difficult to get the first cube, oftentimes needing other tools such as table knife to insert in the sides of the cube to loosen it from adjacent cubes, and gently prying the cube upwards. Insert the rock wool cube into the sow and grow hydro cup. Ensure that the bottom of the rock wool cube reaches the end of the hydro cup. When not, gently tap the hydro cup on the table to let the rock wool cube slide deeper into the hydro cup. Repeat the process for all the 28 rock wool cubes and hydro cups. Hydroponics is very light in maintenance. It will only require at most twice a week, just to check on the EC of the nutrient solution in the hydro box. Remember that plants consume the nutrients. So as time goes on, especially when the plants are matured already, the nutrient solution will need some replenishment. There are 2 small holes in our hydro box, one on each side. Get hold of a syringe with an aquarium air plastic tube attachment to siphon some solution for testing with an EC meter. Remember your initial EC reading and use that for estimating the volume of nutrient solution for replenishment. Our initial reading was 1015 for 38 liters, or the 38 liters registered an EC of 6.76 for every ml of nutrient concentrates. You may use this figure in estimating the volume of A and B that should be added. Assuming that your current EC reading is 900, and you want to increase this to 1400, or an increase of 500 EC, divide this figure by 6.76. Your quotient of 73.96 should be rounded off to the nearest conveniently measurable figure, say 75. So add in 75 ml each of A and B, following the basic principles in adding the nutrient concentrates. One at a time. And in different holes. It is highly recommended that you take another EC reading after pouring in the nutrients. However, inasmuch as we can no longer physically mix the nutrients in water, give some time, say 30 minutes, for the nutrients to naturally spread in the water before taking this EC reading. So, this is all to it. Hydroponics is indeed very simple and easy to implement. No hard and physically taxing tasks. Start your hydroponics project and realize all the joy and happiness in harvesting your own grown vegetables.
Bakit di natin pag-isipan ang nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran? Lahat ng bagay na narito sa lupa, biyayang galing sa Diyos kahit nung ika'y wala pa. Ingatan natin at huwag nang sirain pa, pagkat pag kanyang linawi tayo'y mawawala.